Elias's workshop clung to the side of a noisy city block, like a bird's nest wedged between stone and sky, perched above a humble noodle shop, its savory aromas drifting softly through the floorboards. The tiny space was a chaotic haven of wires, gears, and dream-soaked clutter. At the center of it all stood a half-finished flying machine. Its wings, crafted from scavenged metal and shimmering fabric, stretched with quiet promise. Though one side, near the control panel, was stained black with soot, an ugly reminder of his most recent failure. Grease streaked Elias's fingers as he adjusted a wing joint. He was barely 20, but his eyes, sharp and restless, carried a weight far older. He glanced at the burn mark. His jaw tightened. It wasn't the first explosion, and it probably wouldn't be the last. But still, he wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. A week later, Elias stood beside that same machine, now patched up, now humming with cautious energy. They were in a dusty park on the edge of the city. A small crowd had gathered, curious children, skeptical old men, a couple holding iced drinks. Elias swallowed hard, pressed the ignition, stepped back. With a sputter and a mechanical groan, the machine lurched upward. For a moment it hovered. Cheers caught in people's throats, and then crashed, spectacularly. A cloud of dust and broken dreams spiraled into the air. A few snickers followed. Elias's cheeks flushed. He stared at the wreckage, crushed. "Not again," he whispered. "What am I doing wrong?" That evening, Elias sat slumped in a corner of a bustling cafe. A half-finished tea cooled beside him. His head rested in his hands, fingers tangled in his dark curls. "Mind if I sit?" A calm voice. Elias looked up. A man with silver-streaked hair and weathered hands stood before him. The kind of hands that had built many things, and broken just as many. Silas, a retired clockmaker, known around the neighborhood. Elias gave a small nod. "I saw your demonstration," Silas said gently, easing into the seat. "Takes courage to try in public. Even more, to try again after failure." Elias scoffed. "Feels more like stupidity." Silas smiled. "When I was young, I had to craft a delicate mainspring for a complex clock. Kept snapping on me. Again and again. I ruined materials. Wasted time. I thought I was useless." Elias looked up. "What changed?" "My master," Silas replied. "He didn't scold me. He just said, 'Each break teaches you where the weakness lies.' So I stopped seeing them as failures. I started studying every broken piece. Learned to understand the metal, the tension, the heat." He paused. "It took time, months. But eventually, I made a mainspring that held. That clock ran for decades." Silas leaned forward, voice soft but firm. "You see, Elias, your crashes? They're your broken springs. Each one is a lesson, not a defeat." Something shifted in Elias's eyes. The frustration didn't vanish, but it softened. "So you're saying, I need to fail?" "I'm saying you must, because that's how you learn to succeed." Elias returned to his workshop with a new kind of fire. He didn't just rebuild. He re-examined. He sketched diagrams, wrote detailed notes, tested every component, every circuit, every bolt. Each failure now felt different. It wasn't an end. It was a clue. And he wasn't alone. Silas visited often. Not to interfere, just to guide, to listen, to believe. Together they tinkered. They failed. They learned. Months passed. One bright afternoon, the workshop, once cluttered and dim, now felt alive. Sunlight bathed the walls. The flying machine gleamed. Its wings shimmered like dragonfly wings caught in the light. Elias tightened one last bolt, then turned to Silas with a nod. The machine rose, smooth, steady, confident. It hovered, tilted, and then soared up past the rooftops, past the noodle shop, casting a long shadow over the city that once ignored him. Elias stood still, heart in his throat. A smile broke across his face, wide, unrestrained. Silas clapped a hand on his shoulder. You see, Elias, each fall taught you how to fly. And Elias knew it was true. His triumph wasn't just the flight. It was the journey, the burns, the crashes, the quiet tears, the relentless persistence. The city didn't just look up at a machine. They looked up at a dream, realized, tested, and finally airborne. Failure hadn't defeated him. It had forged him. The morning after the flight, sunlight spilled through the workshop window. It painted the walls and scattered tools in a golden hue. Elias stood by the windowsill, straight but still. His eyes held a quiet conversation with the sky. So many nights he had fought through burn marks, busted circuits, broken hope. But now he felt peace, a peace that had been earned. He smiled gently. Every broken spring taught me something. To wait, to observe, to understand, to transform. He turned toward the machine outside, resting in the morning breeze. It waited, not as a monument but as a challenge. And the wind whispered, life waits for no one to be ready. It only waits to see if you have the courage to answer its call. And you, will you keep waiting, or will you rise and rewrite your own story?